Grand Rise, Willie Whittle. It shall be dope. This is the podcast. Let's get into it. Sometimes the music that I listen to influences my mood, and sometimes my mood influences the music that I listen to, which is more true than most. Um, Recently, I've been listening to a lot of Uncle Al. He's been in my playlist crazy. Shouts to Uncle Al, the Alchemist, who won a BET award this year, which is dope. A lot of Larry June recently. A lot of music that's like I usually shout out a lot of Griselda, a lot of Conway the Machine, Benny, 38. But the reason why I bring that up is because the music that I listen to influences my energy in a different way. I feel like some of the things that gets talked about, whether it be regular hip hop, you know certain items in hip hop that usually gets glorified. No matter what, it's about the motivation and the hustle to push forward, and that's what I take from it, especially at my age. So I think what one of the songs that influenced me to speak today, um, Larry June, um, 60 days, 60-day plan. You can accomplish anything with a solid plan, was the statement. And I let that ring in my head over and over again. It's off The Great Escape, Larry June and the Alchemist album, uh, The Great Escape. And it's 60-day plan. And you can achieve anything in 60 days with a solid plan is not even a myth. That is like crazy true. And what I attribute that to is like the drive and not only music but my health journey in life. So let me get back on the same page of myself sometimes, because sometimes I just start rambling, you know what I mean? Um, I've been on a weight loss journey, and it's been 9 months now, I believe. And in that 9 months, as of like yesterday, I've lost a total of 86 pounds, which is crazy, crazy. But what's funny is at the start of October, I was at like 72 pounds lost. And October, this month, I did a no sugar October challenge for myself, like personally for myself. I said, I'm going to do this no sugar October. And in 17 days, because the last time I weighed in before this was like October 2nd, and I weighed in yesterday, and in 17 days, I lost 17 pounds. Now, I'm a big dude, so, percentage wise, it is what it is compared to like a smaller person or whatever. But 17 pounds, I don't care what you say, is huge, just not like consuming sugar. So with that being said, yeah, big congrats to myself, right? Because I gotta applaud me, I gotta affirm myself, right? Um, but what I've been realizing through this weight loss journey is the fact that we need our own personal development plans. We need our own self development plans. I don't think that a lot of people sit down and take the time to invest in their selves like they should be. So here's my take, right? Back in the day when you didn't have as much external influence, or your external influence came from people who were right in front of you, it was real life external influence. Like it was, this person said this, or maybe a grapevine situation where through phone calls this person said this, but it wasn't like this person out in California posted something and it changed my life, right? It was different. It was the people at work, or I saw this guy drive past in a nice car and now I'm motivated, right? So the way we get information is way different, and we all can agree that that's one thing. Um, but back then, these pushes, these dopamine shot drivers were different in capacity, like back in the day. Because I can sit and remember, me and my boys talking about some, man, I want that car. Like we see, if you see a Bentley, I actually, let me tell a quick story. I remember going to LA on my senior class trip, and when we went to LA, we get off and we just some hood kids in LA, you know what I mean? And we see see this Rolls Royce. This Rolls Royce on the side of the road, and I'm like, yo, I ain't never seen one of them before in life. Like in real life, that's crazy. And so I stood next to it. I took a picture next to it. You know what I mean? Because I had to. I had to. Like I'm in LA. I'm lamping out here. Like, gotta do what I gotta do, right? So I took this picture next to this Rolls Royce, and I'm like, that's heat. Like, you know what I mean? That's crazy to me. And now you could just go online and just like look at a Rolls Royce. You know what I mean? You could see the next thing, like how we did Cybertrucks when they first came out or whatever. Like all Cybertrucks is all over the place. Blah blah blah. So the thrill, the dopamine thrill, wasn't as impactful. Well, to state, I think that our personal development, the way that we like get information, we get snippets of information. But within our personal development journey, we have to be able to take that snippet of information and maybe turn it into something that's driving us to look deeper into ourselves. My personal development plan, which to each his own, right? Create your own, whatever you want, whatever you're on. I urge people to just sit back and think about it, because this is your path through life. Like, and if you don't have a solid plan, then I think you just get swayed left or right in any capacity, because there are things that could push you or pull you. But if you know what the plan is, you stay the plan, right? So along with my weight loss journey, I've been doing some things that has been very beneficial to me. I read. Me and my daughter read at night. We take our hour and just go through. She's reading, I'm reading. But important for myself is to make sure that I implement what I read. So, more recently I've been reading The Art of War, which is a whole nother episode. I'm gonna get back to you on that. But a book by Sun Tzu. I have a couple of other books that I'm gonna get into afterwards. I'm looking for books to get into always. So I think taking the time to set yourself some plan boundaries, right? You got to set yourself some kind of goal in mind to follow, some kind of plan. I apologize, some kind of plan to follow, because if you follow a plan, then you'll know, like, yo, this is what I'm doing, like, and I can stick to it. I can create routine, and then I can build internal process, so that way I can stay growing. Because I mean, that's the only way we're really gonna be happy, is if we see the development in ourselves. We look in the mirror and we see one person every day. No matter what, you're going to look directly in the eyes of yourself, and you're going to see your own soul. And you have to be able to live with that on a daily basis. You can't be out here just lost in the world, because it's a treacherous place. And we all get it. We all know it. But the fact that, like, we have to know who we are as we navigate this world, not who people think we are as we navigate this world. So those are big keys in my life that help me, derive different types of ideals and try to coach my family into what they need to understand for themselves. I want them to develop their own plan, because if I develop their plan, then it's not fair. Like, you can't do what I want, right? It's funny because I was talking to my kids earlier this week, and I told them I had watched ATL like a week or two ago. Dope movie. T.I. Big Boy's in it too. You know what I mean? And as I'm watching it, T.I.'s little brother gets shot, and they're in the hospital room, and he say, when you was a baby, you had to crawl, and then you had to learn how to walk. And no matter how much I help you, I can't do that for you. I can't walk for you. And he said, very much so, like a man, I could talk to you and try to teach you how to be a man, but I can't be a man for you. And it's true. Like, we have to be able to learn, like, what that means. But then I kind of heard something a little bit profound this morning, which came off of this podcast that was with Amon Shumpert, and I can't remember the other guy's name, but this guy got on there and he said, let me ask you something. Like, think about it like this. We don't have anything that teaches us when to become men. Like, you wake up and you hit puberty. Yeah, we get it, but everybody hits puberty. And then all of a sudden, they just view you as a man. There's no biological change. Like, there's no, hey, here's your sweet 16 or whatever, and or your rites of passage, a normalized rites of passage for a man, for a boy to become a man. So the statement becomes, at some point, you're just viewed as a man. You wake up, your size, your body changed, and now they view you as a man, and you just got to learn how to navigate. And, you know, my man said something about a freight train. He said, if you imagine, you know, being a man as this freight train coming down the tracks, and it's in motion, 100 cars, a million tons coming down these tracks. And then the conductor sees something on the tracks up ahead, and they say, oh man, I gotta stop. And they slam on the brakes. They slam on the brakes on this 1,000,000-pound freight train. And that train ain't gonna stop right then and there. That train gonna slide for miles. It's gonna for a real long time, right? And the point is, as men, when you, like, at first you have all this influence as a kid, and you got to be like pushing forward, and all this understanding that you only have. It's only so much understanding that you get before you get deemed, all right, manhood, right? But now you get hit with everything else. You get hit with all of the, this is what you got to do now. This is how you got to conduct yourself. This is how you got to be who you got to be. And when that happens, that train is sliding. You like, man, what are we doing? Hold on a second, but you're not holding on, because you're just coasting. You're trying to figure it out. And as men, when you get as a defined man, you're supposed to be able to stop that freight train if you need to stop it, right? You're supposed to be able to halt. No, this is the wrong direction, and change directions, which is unless you got a switch coming up on the railroad tracks, it's, you know, and it's planned, it's kind of hard to change directions on a train. You know what I mean? So the concept is, we have to be able to take that planned piece and guide others as well. But with that guidance, we have to know how to plan. We have to know how to create this solid plan for ourselves. If we can't create the plan for ourselves, then how can we teach to create a solid plan? So this is a little deeper than what I usually get into, but this is all about, you know, the path, right? This is my self-development. This is what I'm going through. And I really wish that somebody was there to help me with that plan when I was getting older. Because when I was in high school, I did go through a manhood training program, and they did help develop me with a lot of tools. But then when I graduated that, and I graduated high school, it was like, I think I know how to be a man, and it was not that. Like, this is a constant mission, and you need allies in this mission. Sometimes you need a village. So the main thing is, you know, now that I learned, and I know now, you know, what I need to do, who I am, how I can make decisions that are impactful to me and my family. So I'm, you know, better now. I'm not gonna say I'm good. I'm better, because I'm always healing. Always. There is no healed. I'm always healing. But you know, it's been one of those things where, like, now I know how to navigate. And now I'm trying to teach and live what I learned also. So the point, right? You can accomplish anything with a solid plan. You can, and I believe that. Like, I am living it. I believe it. I plan to, you know, record on certain days. I plan to make sure that I only have so much food in my diet. I plan to drink a certain amount of water. You know what I mean? I plan to exercise this amount of time. So these are things that are proven can work for you, and they help my mental so much. Like, I mean, the clarity that I usually get because I do it is crazy. It's crazy. So listen, two things I want y'all to do. two things I want y'all to do, and it's a recommendation. It's not a, you know what I mean. You're forced, right? It's a recommendation because to each his own. I urge everyone to listen to Alchemist and Larry June, The Great Escape. It's a dope album, one of the dopest albums I've heard in a really long time. Then I want you to sit down and create yourself a plan. Create your personal development plan, whether it be a vision board, whether it be you writing down your plan on a notebook and then you following along with it. And once you create the plan, make sure you implement the plan. So the books that if you choose to read a book 5 pages a night, 2 pages a night, it doesn't matter what the plan holds, execute the plan. Implement what you learn from the plan. The quote that I heard earlier this week, let me see if I can remember it. The quote that I heard earlier this week was, if you teach a man to invest in working, he'll earn a living. If you teach a man to invest in himself, he'll earn a fortune. We're more than just vessels that go to work. We're more than just the people who have to get up and make sure that, this got to here, or this is doing that, or I crunched these numbers, or I moved this freight, or I did this kind of piece. Like, we're more than that, and we need to be able to express that. But the only way that we'll be able to express that is to understand who we are and what we have to express. Then you'll know how to express it because you'll understand it more. Most people speak on everything that they understand and not too many things that they don't understand. Like, you don't hear me running around talking about, how to be, let's call it a DJ or whatever, because I never, spun a record on a turntable before. But who do I look like running, teaching the class about being a DJ? That's not me. I'm not him, right? Let me put you with the expert. But when you teach, I'll be quiet and I'm going to learn something. So we have to be experts. We have to be experts in ourselves. And the only way we could do that is if we invest in our own plan. So that's where my head is. Check out, like I said, The Great Escape, Larry June, The Alchemist. It's not older. It came out in 23. But it still rings like crazy. And, remember, you could do anything with a solid plan. I believe that. And that plan is going to lead you down your path, which is your path to peace, right? That's our whole goal. Our mission to peace is the path that we're walking down. And as long as you do that with love in your heart, it shall be dope. Thank y'all.